Driving home from Teen Valley Ranch in North Carolina, my daughter and I thought we were headed towards Greensboro. But an hour later, a big sign read, "Welcome to Tennessee." After a brief stop, our GPS had rerouted us, and I hadn't noticed. It cost us over an hour of backtracking. And you know what? That's exactly what happens when we don't check in with our money. We set a budget, never look at it again, and end up surprised, backtracking and burning through the margin that was meant to give us peace. Welcome to A Cup of Hope, the podcast for women ready to create clarity and confidence in their life and money. I'm your host, Lynn, a life and money coach and your hope-filled strategist. Each week, we'll talk about the messy middle of life, faith, finances, freedom, and finding your purpose, all with truth, encouragement, and practical tools that you can use today. I'm so glad you're here. Fall is one of the busiest and most expensive seasons of the year, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Today, we're talking about how to budget for busy seasons, fall, the holidays, or any time life just fills up. A little planning now can save you money, energy, and a whole lot of stress. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." In other words, wisdom looks ahead, while foolishness lives only for the moment. That's exactly what budgeting for busy seasons is all about. So how do we do that in real life? Let me give you 3 simple ways I use my calendar and budget to prepare for busy seasons. Step 1. Start with your calendar. I use my calendar as more than just a place to hold appointments. Each week, I schedule time to review what's now, what's next, and what's further down the road. When I'm faithful to that calendar time and I pair it with my budget time and meal prep, I stay on top of the healthy habits that help me live the life I want to live. I'm always looking ahead, and that allows me to make small adjustments that keep my life moving smoothly. But when I don't do this, I feel anxious and overwhelmed. I forget things, and I'm far less productive. That's why this simple practice matters so much. It's what keeps me on course and gives me peace. What about you? Do you have a set time each week where you check in with your calendar and with your money? Even 10 minutes could help you feel less anxious and more prepared. Step 2. Use your calendar to plan your meals and your grocery list. Here's where it gets super practical. For me, Mondays are very long days. I don't want to hit the drive-thru, so I plan a quick meal, like a sandwich and a piece of fruit. If I don't, I end up with cold, greasy fries that I don't even finish, $10 wasted, and I feel lousy. Sundays are special. It's the one time my local kids are in town, so we often plan to go out for lunch. I budget for it because it's important. Some days I have work lunch meetings. On those days, I don't pack a lunch, but I will bring a snack. And when all 6 of my kiddos were at home and I was homeschooling, it looked a little different, but the principle was the same. Monday nights were packed with activities, so dinner went in the crockpot. Wednesdays were co-ops, so lunches were packed. Wednesday night was church dinner. It was cheap and convenient, so we budgeted for it. Different seasons, same strategy. The calendar guided my meal plan and the grocery budget. Think about your week. Which day is most likely to throw off your meal plan? Could you plan something quick or budget for takeout so that you're not caught off guard? And step 3. Finally, use your calendar as a trigger list. Do you have birthdays, sports fees, field trips, or church events this month? Add those into your every dollar budget before the month begins. Regardless of the tool you use, paper, spreadsheet, or app, the key is to plan your money ahead before the month begins. Some categories may be fixed, but others shift month to month. That's okay. The important thing is that you decide. You make a decision in advance instead of reacting in the moment. And if you're married, this isn't a solo sport. Work together so you're both rowing in the same direction. Now, here's where we state the obvious, because honestly, sometimes it's easy to skip it. Look ahead at the next 3 months. What extra expenses will you have because of travel, birthdays, or other gift giving? Write those dates down. Then ask, how much do I need to set aside from each paycheck to cover each of these? That way, when the expense comes, you're ready. No stress, no debt. So here's a challenge. Actually pause right now and schedule 10 minutes in your calendar this week to look ahead at the next 3 months. Write down those birthdays, trips, or holiday events you already know about. Even this one small step will help you feel more prepared. So let's recap. Step 1, start with your calendar. Step 2, use it to plan your meals and your grocery budget. Step 3, budget for the extras by looking ahead and setting aside money from each paycheck. None of this is complicated, but it does require paying attention. And when you do, you'll find yourself more prepared, less stressed, and living with more peace. So, which of these 3 steps feels the most doable for you this week? Pick one and practice it. Progress comes one small step at a time. And this brings me to today's Coach's Cue. Peace tomorrow is built on preparation today. Don't forget to join the No Spend 21-Day Challenge. It's a simple way to create margin without feeling deprived. To learn more, click the link in the show notes. I'd love for you to jump in and join us. All right, before we wrap up, let me leave you with one last sip of hope today. You don't need a complicated system, just a calendar and a budget that work together like your GPS. Keep checking them daily and you'll stay on course, even in the busiest seasons of life. As we grow deeper together, remember Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." This week, take some time to journal. Here's your prompt. What seasonal expenses do I know are coming? And how can I start preparing now? And you don't want to miss next week. We'll talk about how to carry your values into the holiday season. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me today on A Cup of Hope. If this episode encouraged you, would you share it with a friend and subscribe so you never miss an episode? You'll find today's resources and next steps in the show notes. Until next time, I'm Lynn, and I want you to remember this. Hope is always available, and your next step matters, because God can take the broken pieces of your story and create something more beautiful than you could ever imagine.